Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into something huge, a massive proposed shakeup to the U.S. H-1B visa program. This could literally change the game for skilled professionals all over the world.
The lottery system is finished. Wow, that's a pretty bold statement, right? But it looks like a dramatic shift is really on the horizon for one of the most popular work visas out there. The whole game is changing. We're moving away from a system of just pure luck to one that's all about wages. So let's break down what this actually means.
All right, so here's the plan. We're going to cover what's actually changing, put the old and new systems side by side, and figure out who the winners and losers are here. Then, we'll look at a really interesting silver lining for India, talk strategy for anyone applying, and wrap up with a timeline of when this all might go down.
Okay, so first things first. What is the big change? Well, the main idea here is to get rid of the H-1B lottery system. Like, completely.
You know, for so long, getting an H-1B visa has been, well, kind of like a game of chance, right? As long as you got your application in on time, you had a shot. Didn't matter if you were fresh out of college or a top expert. Now, that whole system, it's basically on the chopping block.
So to really get a handle on this, let's put the old way and the new proposed system head to head. You'll see just how fundamental this change really is.
And here's where you can see the massive philosophical shift. It's no longer about random luck. It's about a strict top-down hierarchy. The new system is all about prioritizing high earners. The idea, or at least the stated goal, is to make sure the so-called best brains, which in this case means the highest paid, get the first shot at these visas. So how does this hierarchy work? Well, it's broken down into 4 levels. The selection process is going to start at the very top with level 4, the senior experts. Then it'll move down the list. But, and this is the really critical part, if that annual visa cap gets filled up by people in levels 4 and 3, then folks in the bottom 2 levels, they might not even get a chance. It's a top-down system, and for people just starting their careers, the consequences are pretty serious.
Okay, so whenever you have a change this big, you're going to have some clear winners and some clear losers. Let's break down who's who in this new scenario.
And you can really see the two sides of the coin here. On one hand, this is a huge hurdle for junior professionals and for those Indian IT firms whose business model relied on them. But on the other hand, it's like a golden ticket for senior experts in hot fields like AI and machine learning, and of course, for the big US tech companies that can afford to pay them top dollar.
All right, so on the surface, this looks like bad news for a lot of professionals from India, right? But there's this really fascinating counterargument that suggests in the long run, this could actually be a blessing in disguise for India itself. So what's the logic here? Well, the thinking is that instead of exporting all its entry-level talent, India will now have a huge incentive to build, train, and keep that talent at home. This could kickstart a whole new wave of innovation within the country, basically turning a potential brain drain into a brain gain. Pretty interesting perspective.
Okay, so this is all great in theory, but what if you're actually hoping to apply for an H-1B? What should you be doing now? Let's talk strategy for navigating this completely new landscape.
So the bottom line is you have to play by the new rules. It's not enough to just submit an application anymore. The whole game is about positioning yourself as a high-value candidate, the exact kind of person this wage-based system is designed to attract. Specialization, real-world experience, and aiming for the right companies. That stuff is more crucial than ever.
So, the big question is, when is this all going down? Well, it's not happening tomorrow. Let's look at the projected timeline for when these new rules might actually kick in.
So here's the likely road ahead. The new rule gets proposed, and then there's a window of a few months for public feedback and final tweaks. Now, assuming there are no major legal battles or political roadblocks, the new system could actually be implemented for the H-1B season that starts in early 2026.
So what's the big takeaway here? The American dream, at least through this visa, isn't over, but the path to it is changing, big time. It's shifting away from being an entry-level opportunity and becoming all about specialized expertise. This could truly reshape the career paths for a whole generation of tech professionals around the globe.
Which brings us to the final question. Is this change just a new wall blocking the American dream? Or is it an accidental catalyst for building a stronger, more self-reliant tech powerhouse in India? It's a huge question, and it leaves us with a lot to think about when it comes to the future of global talent.